Juicy. Why is juicy important? Why do I say it all the time? Well, this is the Aliveness podcast. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about what I mean by juicy and why juicy is important and how we can have more juice. This is Aliveness, the show that explores how to create the changes you need to make to experience the sense of aliveness you're longing for, and how the power of plant medicine can accelerate that process for you. I'm your host, Alison Crosthwait, a guide and former psychotherapist, here to empower you to break out of your old patterns, shift into a new state of being, and ignite your aliveness. I get asked this quite a lot, and the word juicy continues to be very important to me. What do I mean by it? In general, I mean an energy. What is alive? What is juicy? And of course, there are times when it's not quite the right word. It has a positive connotation, like what's juicy? And I always smile when I say it. So, if we're in a place of grief and I'm working with somebody, I'm probably not going to say what's juicy, but I still mean juicy to include all of the feelings. It's what's alive. It's like the breadcrumb trail of our aliveness. It's also a code word for orgasmic. Life is actually orgasmic. But if I say orgasm or hot or sexy every time, we're always going to think sex, whatever that means for us, and we might lose juicy, which is always enjoyable. Sex has got all of this gender and power and trauma and repression and shame and how we feel about our bodies. Like there's so much around sex. And I think it's one of the most important inquiries for us. And we don't need to start there or go all the way through sexual healing to feel juicy. Juicy is something we can say with kids. We can say in any circumstance, what's juicy? And that's what I mean by an orgasmic life. It's not about genital orgasm. That is a kind of orgasm. Orgasm is an energy drive towards satisfaction and release. And it's physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. It has all these aspects. And we live it all the time. Every sentence, every breath, every morsel of food, everything we do, it's like, oh, I'm hungry. So I'm exaggerating, but everything we do is desire, satisfaction, release. It's the wave nature of being. Inhale, exhale. And so when I say life is orgasmic, that's what I mean, that we can lean into the desire, satisfaction, release of every single moment, and it can be very juicy. And when we do deep work and get our sexual energy moving, it can actually be pleasurable, almost any experience. Like life can be literally, physically pleasurable in all moments. And this is something that I'm really passionate about unearthing. So that's what I mean by juicy. Sometimes juicy is pain. Like if we're sitting in a place and we don't know what to do next, and if I say to you, what's juicy? The answer might be something very uncomfortable. Juicy can be discomfort. It can be pain. It's what's alive. And it's always what's alive that takes us to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. It's the opposite of flatness, ennui, boring. And you see this a lot on the internet right now. The same thing is being said over and over. And I kind of go, oh, it's conditioning. It's not juicy. What's juicy is what's new to us. And it's an experience. It's not a thing that anybody else can tell us. So this is part of why I work as I do, having as broad a toolbox and a team as I can handle, knowing what's outside my scope and seeing where each person is at and where the juice is for them. Because it's usually juice comes from unlocking something that hasn't been unlocked. So you get more energy. That's what's juicy. Is like, oh, a new idea. What if it wasn't my fault? That's like juicy. Or what if this food I've never had before is so delicious? Or what if I can actually do this thing that I didn't think I could do? That's juicy. It's always unlocking energy that's been tamped down by like closed thinking and conditioning. So juicy is sparky, and it can have fear and discomfort, but it's sparky. Ultimately, what we're kind of going for in a non-goal oriented kind of way is living from the overflow of our juice. And this can take a little time to get there. And I go in and out of this. This is something we tend to go in and out of. When we are connected to our desire, to our sufficiency, to love, to juice, when we are juicy, these are all words for pointing towards an experience. And lots of different words can suffice here. You'll have yours. But when we're juicy, it just overflows. We don't have to actually get something done. It's just juicy. And it just happens. And so by following the breadcrumb of the juice and increasing our juice physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, sexually, all the ways, building that juice in the holistic way we talk about in this podcast, attending to ourselves in all the different ways. We're not automatons. We have all these needs, and we just accept the experiences as they come, the desires as they come. We don't say, oh, well, this is a waste of my time. No, if it's a desire, it's a desire. If it's an experience, it's an experience. Welcoming it and following the breadcrumb of the juice, we then will live with the overflow of the juice. And life is easy. And when we don't follow the juice and we make ourselves do the things and accomplish tasks, it's flat. And it gets flatter and flatter and flatter. And that's not juicy. It's not fun. So I'm gonna just paint two pictures to help you really get this. So I want you to imagine that you are coming back from vacation and there is a 6-hour time lag. So when you arrive, you are delayed. Both flights have been delayed. And you arrive at your home airport at 11 o'clock at night, but it feels like 5 in the morning. And you get to baggage claim and it takes like forever. Then as you go through that little thing in customs where you have to give them your tag, they pull you over and you're waiting for 45 minutes and there seems to be nobody there. And when you finally get through that, your Uber can't find you. Like there's no way. You guys just can't connect. And you finally get home at like 2 in the morning, which is like 8 in the morning, the vacation time, and you have a meeting the next day. And when you think about your inbox, your email inbox, you feel physically sick. And you can't even think about this meeting. It is pulling on your energy and taking from you. Okay, so you felt that. Now imagine that you are climbing a mountain that you've always wanted to climb, and it's the perfect intensity of hike for you. whatever strenuous level you like, and you are with somebody that you have a romantic relationship with that you love, and you get to the top, and it is just like exhilarating. And then you walk down and you have the most delicious meal. And I'm thinking of being in Switzerland because I love that kind of Alsatian Swiss food. It's just perfect. And the wine is perfect. And the conversation is like scintillating and fun and open. And the night is flowing. And you get home and you make love and it is beautiful. Like just perfect. And you have tears at the perfection and beauty of the day. And you wake up in the morning and you have coffee and a croissant or maybe a Swiss pastry. And you open your laptop because you have a meeting. And how are you approaching that meeting? With this overflow of juice. It seems easy. And those emails, when you spend like 20 minutes catching up on your email, it's so easy because what's not important is so obvious. And what pulls on you doesn't pull the same way because you're like, oh, that poor person, right? They're in a difficult place right now. Or you find a creative way to respond to something that you don't usually see. Because from the place of sufficiency and juice, life is easy. It really is. That doesn't mean it's without grief. But there is juice possible for us, a lot more juice. And juice also sustains us during grief, during the harder things in life. It may manifest differently, but we can still have the pleasure and enjoyment of connection, of sensuality, of all the things that we enjoy and look forward to. All of those things can be present. And so building our capacity for juice and pleasure is a huge part of healing. And it's a huge part of taking apart the conditioning that things have to be hard and that we have to work and that we have to obey and that we have to push. None of those things are juicy. They're not juicy. So ultimately, we are moving towards a life of overflow that comes from touching the heart of love, of life force energy. And it all comes from asking the question, what is the biggest feeling right here? What is our biggest desire? What is our biggest curiosity? What's juicy? And following the juice all the way home. One of the things I love to do with clients is support them in developing their juice, letting go of what they no longer need, supporting them in medicine work and emotional release work that lets go of what is blocking the juice and heightens the juice. And probably the best program I have for that is a 6-month medicine intensive called Empower. If you feel drawn to go deeper and work with me, I would love to talk to you. The details on all my offerings are at AlisonCrosthwait.com/offerings. If this episode of Aliveness resonated with you, I would be so grateful if you would leave a review on your podcast app. Reviews make it possible for me to connect with more people just like you who are looking for inspiration and guidance on their journey to create a full, juicy life filled with aliveness. Be sure to subscribe so you get all the juicy episodes to come. And if you have a friend who is deep into their personal growth and healing journey, share this podcast with them too. Now go out and experience the aliveness that's here for you today.